You know, it's almost like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. The PlayStation 2 is an absolutely cool device to play nowadays. But when it comes to the controller, there is going to be a slightly different story. I am basically like a Sony PlayStation 2 controller hoarder. And the reason why, because these bloody things keep just dying on me. I got the blue, the black and the silver one, but the blue ones are even like freaking rare. Recently I wanted to pick up a blue PlayStation 2. And guess what? That freaking device also came with two controllers, so one of them was not working like it should be. I can still remember my first controllers of the PlayStation 2. They already had some issues after, let's say 2 years or so. Like the back buttons were like sticky, freaking annoying. And not because it was filthy, but just like it was like wearing out. And that is something that's a general problem. Another thing like the automatically scrolling, or it just doesn't do anything. So in this video I want to check out like this PlayStation 2 wireless controllers from AliExpress. Are these things worth picking up? They're selling it in different kind of colors. I got myself the black one and the translucent one. And I was really curious how good these are nowadays, because they have released a lot of like clone devices. And I mean like a lot of fake PlayStation controllers. And it's always like a mixed bag when it comes to these devices. So the first thing what we need to do is the smelly test. They don't smell chemical at all, and that's a very good thing, because the cheap ones I've reviewed with the game boxer are most of the time pretty damn awful, like really chemical. But how is the feel? The first thing I like is the joystick itself, or the joysticks, because it does have like this rubber compound at the top like the original one, because with the cheap ones it is just pure hard plastic. The touch itself will do like a slightly comparison side by side, but I already can tell you like it's different than the original one. We do have a battery compartment, 2x AAA, and an on and off switch over here. So let's take a close look at the translucent version. Here we're going to get the dongle itself. You just need to plug it in and that's it. Then we're going to get like the same quality like the black one, but I really like translucent. I don't know what it is. Let me know in the comments what do you think of this. But in overall you can see we have like two rumble motors. So not the bullshit we have seen before with the fake Xbox Classic ones that I've seen that it comes without rumble. Like, man, who make those? But let's do a side-by-side comparison with an original one. Alright, so let's take a close look at the buttons. So the buttons have absolutely and completely different, let's say, feel to it. To begin with, you can already hear it. There are, let's say, more clickish on the fake ones. But there was another thing I wanted to show you. So while you hold them side by side, you can see like the fake ones, the buttons are longer and also have a very long travel to it. So there we're going to get the biggest difference to the buttons. So the joystick, I must say, is less sturdy than, or better, have less resistance with the fake ones. The select start feel the same. The mode button is also a little bit higher than the one from the original one, and the D-pad feels completely different, to be honest. Like where we're going to get, let's say, less sturdy joystick, we're going to get more, let's say, more pressure that we need to put in the D-pad. You can just feel it, like it's also like higher than the original one, not like a lot, but you can feel it like it's completely different, and you need to press it really hard. So the resistance between the membrane and the button is absolutely different. This is not because of wear out, this is just because it's completely different. And of course the same story applies to the translucent edition. But in the end they can make a lot of fake controllers, but they will never be the same like the original one. But okay, it is not like a big of a deal. The question remains, how will they work? So let's get myself some batteries, let's plug it in the PlayStation and let's play some games just to see how they will play. Okay guys, so let's start with a Street Fighter game to test out the D-pad.
Street Fighter EX3.
So when it comes to the controller itself, I just plug and play. I don't need to do any configuration when it comes to connecting with the dongle. I don't notice any input lag whatsoever. So let's try the D-pad first, just to see how it works out with the fighting games. Oh man, like the problem is with this D-pad is that it's so sturdy, you need to press it really hard. My thumb is going to be hurting after a match of two. Oh, absolutely, it's going to be hurting. Let's see if I can do it super. I need to get used to this controller, absolutely. Alright, so let's see if we can use the freaking analog stick. Okay. Alright, the analog stick seems to be working now. So when it comes to fighting games, I'm just being honest, like you really need to get used to the analog stick and the D-pad. Because of the feel is so different. No, I don't want you with your bombs. Ugh. Let's try a different game. Alright, so here we're going to have the first issue. I rebooted the system and somehow it doesn't connect anymore to my dongle. Alright, let's plug it back in. And let's see what we're going to get now. So that can be an issue with this thing. So if you have this issue, you need to reset the dongle.
The King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. Kazuya Mishima, Raven. Get ready for the next battle.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for it. Bring it on. So if you're going to press it very gently. So when it comes to the movement itself, it seems to be working just fine. So in that case, it's just working great. But the reason I basically want to have two controllers, because I want to use the two play option just to see how everything works when we're going to configure that. Alright, so I didn't have the issue with the controller like I did with the previous game. So let's see, we don't have the versus mode, so let's plug in the second dongle. The controller hasn't been activated yet. Alright, let's power it on. It's already on, but somehow it doesn't work at all. Alright, let's see. It does recognize the second controller. Oh, okay, so that seems to be working just fine. So when it comes to configuration of the second controller, is not going to be an issue at all. Okay, so let's see if the controller seems to be working just fine. Alright, let's get the other controller. So this basically, when it comes to the controllers and how it all works, it's very nice, so you don't need to do any weird configuration, it's just plug and play. Okay guys, so this is what we're going to get with the fake PlayStation 2 controllers, or aftermarket controllers, depends how you want to call them. They're not like one-on-one copy of the original one. Yeah, the shell looks almost similar to the original, but it doesn't play like the real deal. The shoulder buttons, everything is just slightly different. Yeah, and I can just say, especially when it comes to the shoulder buttons, the back ones, I didn't mention before, it's like lesser quality, absolutely. That got more like a cheap click. You can even sometimes almost want to get stuck over here. Another thing that annoys me the hell out of it is I cannot read it. I cannot even open up the compartment without using a flat screwdriver, because this thing is almost impossible to freaking open. That's another thing that is quite annoying. That don't have this issue with this version, the black edition. No idea, maybe they're using different plastic. But when you're looking at the wireless connectivity, you don't notice any input. You need to get used to this very sturdy D-pad. But in overall, yeah, it can be a cheap solution, because these things are dirty cheap. And in the future, it's going to be an issue, because these things are not going to get, let's say, made anymore. And I got a lot of them, and a lot of them are broken or having issues. Yeah, let me know in the comments, did you ever consider buying these, let's say, controllers from AliExpress? Or did you buy them? Let me know, what is your, just let me know, what do you think of it? Would be great to read it back in the comments. Consider subscribing, hit that little bell, become the Wicked family, and it would be great to see you in the next video.